Hi, I'm Sarah Purgis. I'm the Executive Director of Olahana Foundation.
And I'm Kalani Souza. I'm with the University of Hawaii's National Disaster Preparedness Training Center, Community Outreach Specialist, and working in community with organizations like the Olahana Foundation.
I'm also the director of one of 4 learning campuses in development in Hawaii.
And those learning campuses go like this. The first one is an agroforest design learning campus. The second one is a protocol and relational learning campus. The third one, of course, Sarah's famous little
Farmily.
the farm campus. And the fourth one is the community capacity building and transpersonal learning center. Let's start off with our ideas about food security and food forests and how they work for you. What's the best time to plant a food forest?
10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
I guess it all comes down to design and time, right?
Get those trees in as soon as you can, and 10 years ago is a good time for that.
What's the next best time to plant a tree?
Today.
So you see, planning and design is everything. And we are going to do planning and design. And 10 seems to be the formula. 10 years ago, best time to plant a tree. Now, how do you know what to plant, how much to plant, and who to plant for?
That goes back to design. And we need to know who we're feeding. So that's going to tell us what to grow, what we like to eat.
That's always a good plus, what we like to eat. You know, when it comes to who we're feeding, it's almost like we got to decide on volume and number as well as what seasonality dictates we can grow.
So I would say, I learned 10 times what you and your family need so that you can give it away, you can store it. If there's pests or the crop doesn't do well, you have some backup.
That's good planning. Again, 10 being the magic formula. 10 times you figure out what you need, you grow 10 times as much, accommodating for potential loss, as well as storage, as well as not only trade goods, but sharing. Sharing in community is caring.
And, I get it. Starting off 10 times what you can use, that's a lot. That's a lot if you've never grown anything.
Well, especially if you're just getting started.
Yeah. But you can start small. And then that's just where you're going. You're going there at 10 times what you can do.
So what do we start with? What do we start with? The old Hawaiians, they used to have a word for path, for way forward, and that word was uala. And uala means the path or the way forward. And their word for here physically was u. I know some languages, well, actually only English, they pronounce it as you, but we say u. So uala then, uala can be translated as the way, and it's also the sweet potato. So here is the path, the way. And to get started, you might try a simple plant like this. You are growing sweet potato, aren't you?
We are, yep.
How many varieties are you growing?
We started with about 4, and then over time, we're down to 1 that does really well where we are. So they just weeded each other out, and then the one that was the strongest, most adapted to our space is the one we grow.
Well, that's a good idea. Find out the genetics that do well in your bioregion and stick to those. Well, let's have a look at some of Sarah's uala.
This is all going to be the new sweet potato plants. Just going to roll them up, put them in a new area. And we'll just plant it like that with the sticking out. And every node here will have roots come out. Sweet potatoes grow everywhere. They need maybe 4 months minimum. But I know people growing them in Maine.
That's crazy. I was thinking about the county water has like.
Yeah,
Oh, I see something. Alika, do you see it?
Use the hand.
Gently, yeah. Yeah, good one. Gotta get in there.
Beautiful. Wow, nice. Beautiful.
And look
Doesn't
what
it?
I found.
That's like a white type.
Look what
A leaf.
Well, it seems like those potatoes are easy to grow. Just roll them up and plant them in the ground. Now, what I find most interesting about the uala is you don't have to wait the 4 months till you got the root. You can begin eating the shoots after just a couple of weeks. Those little green leaves and those young green shoots make an excellent salad or any addition to any soup.
Yeah, you could saute them, and that within a few days, those leaves are going to start to sprout. So it's really quickly that the leaves come out.
And that might be, in fact, why it's considered the way. If your canoe was landing on a deserted Pacific island and you have to plant something into the ground to get it started right away, you would go with the uala, with the sweet potato, because within 7 to 14 days, you would be eating shoots already. And so hopefully finding some sustenance in place like coconuts or fish or shellfish and having the uala propagating within a couple of weeks would be a strong way to set up your food resources immediately. And remember, when you're sailing from island to island across the big Pacific, you actually need food on that canoe. So the canoe only goes as far as the garden grows. So remember, folks, the best time to plant the tree is
10 years ago?
and the next best time to get started on food security and on community capacity is
Today.
today, people. Thanks for joining us here. And this is Kalani Souza with the National Disaster Preparedness Training Center and
Sarah Purgis with Olahana Foundation, and go get in the ground, go get dirty.
go get dirty.
Plant something.
Plant something in the ground. Auntie Mona used to say, you dig a hole, you throw something in. It's not that difficult, people. Let's get food on the ground and capacity to our communities. Join us next time here on Farmily, when we'll bring to you even more information about food forestry, agroforestry, sylvan forestry, and your own food capacity, from the backyard to the small family farm.
Yeah, all the way up to 2 to 5 acres, and then also how to cook it and eat it.
Hey,
Some of these things might be new to you. So.
you know, it's not just about growing the squash. It's about learning what to do with it after it's grown.
No one's growing things they don't like to eat, so.
There you go. Thanks again for joining us here on Farmily.